Hello everyone, welcome to the England Hockey League preview podcast. New year, new phase of Premier Division hockey. I'm Andy Day, your host. Later on, we check in at East Grinstead to hear from their women's team, learn more about their Super Sixes title success and preparations for the season's restart. We'll take a look at the one opening men's fixture on Saturday later on, but let's start with the three women's Premier Division top 6 fixtures for Saturday, the 1st of March 2025. 2 o'clock it's Hampstead and Westminster and Loughborough Students. At 4:30 Wimbledon East Grinstead. And 6 o'clock Surbiton Reading. Two teams who finished the first phase strongly meet at 2 p.m. League leaders Hampstead and Westminster play Loughborough Students. Hampstead and Westminster leapfrog Reading with a victory at Reading in the last week before the season split and are unbeaten in 10 matches. Loughborough won their last 3 games of the phase to finish in 6th, rising from 9th at the start of November, and have a fine record of keeping out goals. It's been a remarkable 229 minutes since conceding. This is a very tricky fixture to predict, with Loughborough looking to take some revenge for the 5-1 home loss in the reverse fixture in October 2024. Wimbledon are on a run of 4 wins in a row outdoors coming into their home fixture with Super Sixes champions East Grinstead, who themselves are looking for a first win outdoors since match week 9, but only lost twice in the opening 11 games. This also continues a sequence where the teams have played at this venue 6 seasons in a row. Earlier in the season it finished 1-1 at Wimbledon. Don't forget they also met in the league finals pool where East Grinstead shaded it 2-1, a tough one to call. We'll get the thoughts of East Grinstead's Chloe Brown a little later. Surbiton are another team with 5 wins in 5 and start the day in 3rd place. They play 2nd place Reading, who are 1 point better off on 26. Reading were sitting top until that final day defeat by Hampstead and Westminster. Looking at the last meeting, that finished 4-4 at Reading last October, and a little further back Reading did the double over Surbiton in 23-24, which included a statement 3-6 away win for the team from Berkshire. In fact, Surbiton's last win in this fixture came back in 2022. Again, a difficult one to forecast, with both teams boasting goal scorers, Darcy Bourne and Ellie Mackenzie on 7 for Surbiton, Reading's Mia Moore on 8, but also strong defences, which will come out on top. This one is my pick of the day. The lower 6 fixtures look like this. 1:30 Bowden Clifton Robinsons, 2:30 Holcombe Sutton Coldfield, 2:30 University of Birmingham University of Nottingham. The curtain raiser for the restart of the Premier Division season is Bowden versus Clifton Robinsons at 1:30 on Saturday. Clifton Robinsons had been building something towards the end of Phase 1, and their form is the best in the lower 6, winning 2 and drawing 1 of their last 5, and they were in 6th until the rearranged final fixture was played. Bowden are on a run of 5 defeats in a row, will be keen to arrest that sequence as soon as they can. Bowden have already won against Clifton Robinsons on the road. That might give the team a lift. Last season, this exact fixture was a 2-2 draw. A fascinating fixture gets underway at 2:30 at Holcombe Park, with the hosts playing travelling Sutton Coldfield. Sutton Coldfield meet the only team that they successfully won a point from in the first phase, and with a Super Sixes semi-final appearance in the bag, what has that done for the confidence of the side from the Midlands? Both teams have struggled for goals in the first phase, with 9 each in their first 11 games. Holcombe, don't forget, started with 2 wins from 2 and are still looking for win number 3. 1-1 at Windley in October, the outcome of this game could really shape the second phase for these teams. Starting at the same time is a meeting of the Universities of Birmingham and Nottingham. University of Birmingham are a point better off from their 11 Phase 1 fixtures on 11. Other than that, the teams are very even, to the point that their last wins both came on the same day, October the 19th, which was 6 fixtures ago. A draw seems almost nailed on, but not guaranteed. Recapping the stats for the first phase, Bieber Mills of East Grinstead is top scorer with 9, and Miriam Pritchard achieved 5 clean sheets in the opening 11 games. Just the one fixture in the men's Premier Division this week, Cardiff and Met host Southgate in a match that's been brought forwards in the calendar from the weekend of the 23rd. That starts at 6 p.m. on Saturday. It's a repeat of the opening weekend of the season when Southgate were the hosts. That day, Cardiff and Met came out on top, winning 3-1. Cardiff ended a 4-game run without a win by beating Bowden 2-1 in the last match of 2024. Southgate are seeking a second win of the season to add to their victory also over Bowden back in October. Both teams have scored a similar number of goals, but Cardiff have a slightly better defensive record. Archie Foster of Southgate is on 8 for the season, whilst Johan Wall is top scorer for Cardiff and Met. Stats-wise, Sam Ward of Old Georgians is still out in front on 21 goals scored for the season, 5 clear of Surbiton's Strom Walker on 16. For all the latest, England Hockey will keep you updated with the headlines via their website and also via Facebook and Instagram. Do stop by and give us a follow. I'm joined now with Chloe Brown from the engine room of East Grinstead. Good morning, Chloe. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Andy. How are you?
Doing okay. Let's get the first things underway. What was it like at the Super Sixes back in January?
Oh, it was unforgettable. This season has been nothing short of incredible, from retaining our national title back to back for the first time in club's history for the women's side, and then to go on winning Euros and securing promotion to A Division. It's been such a great journey and unforgettable moments. Like every player, all our coaches, the supporters, everyone in our club has made the season so special. And for us to do it back to back has been just the cherry on top. And then to know that we're going back next year and playing A Division, I think if you're a hockey player, you love indoor, like that is the goal. The end goal is to get to A Division because you're playing with the giants of Europe. So we are very happy, and yeah, it's just been such a brilliant season, and hopefully we can continue it.
As well as a success for the team, there was the small matter of a hat-trick for yourself in the final. How did that feel?
Oh, it was. It's hard. It's a hard question to say. Obviously, afterwards, obviously it's an amazing feeling. But at the time, you go onto the pitch and once that whistle blows, you've got a job to do. So even putting the goals in or making tackles, at the time you don't think much about it because you just think of that end goal. But afterwards, it just feels great. I love scoring corners. I love being part of goals. And sometimes I get very envy of our forwards that are getting to go on the attack all the time, and I'm sitting at the back supporting, being a cheerleader. But yeah, no, it was such a great feeling, and hopefully I can keep it going.
With that in mind, what can you take from the indoor part of the season back to outdoor? Because we're back to outdoor this weekend.
Yeah, so our first league game is this weekend. I think indoor is such a fast-paced game, and it's like a dynamic version of the outdoor game. It sharpens the basics, it improves quick decision making, and enhanced technical skills. All of these, which like directly are involved with the outdoor. So it's something that I love doing, especially just to top up my basic skills. Because obviously, when you're playing in the Premier League, there's not much room for error. And when you do, and with the caliber of players that are in this Premier League, you get punished. So I think playing indoor hockey is just so good, especially for your mind. Actually reacting to things quicker, seeing what passages of play are happening, and be able to prove that you can problem solve in a short period of time. I'm a big believer of indoor hockey. I work in a school. I push indoor hockey from there. I've played indoor hockey since I was like 16, 17, and it's something that should keep being pushed, just to benefit the outdoor game.
Looking ahead to this weekend, it's fourth at fifth, and it's a match that is a replay of a match from October where it was a 1-1 draw. Are you expecting a close, similar sort of game this time round?
Not 100% sure, to be honest, Andy. I think with the caliber of our team and the caliber of what Wimbledon have, I think, you never know what happens, but I'll always back us 100% of the way. Like, I want us to go in there and be confident, but also respect our opposition. But we have such a good playing style that I could back us against any team in the league. And I think any team would say the same about their team. So it'll just depend on how both teams start back up. It's first league back. We haven't played since November. It might take a while for people to get into the game. We've obviously both teams have had players away representing England, so hopefully that will benefit both sides. But I'm looking forward to a tough but hopefully a successful game for EG in the end.
The faithful are loud and full of support. What does it feel like to have that support from the sidelines?
It's so good. When you rock up to a home game and when the faithful are there, it's just nothing short of electric. I think when you watch the Olympics or when you watch the World Cup or when you watch even football games and other sports like that there that have a massive fan base and you're seeing them cheering, it feels good. It gives you that extra bit of energy that you sometimes need, especially when things don't go well. And if you hear, especially them on the sideline and they're very energetic, it puts a smile on your face and you just know, right, you can keep going, keep going. And sometimes by having that crowd behind you, just like I said, it gives you that extra bit of energy to, especially if you're 1-0 down to coming back, or even when you go then 1-0 ahead, it just makes it even more special because then you can enjoy it with the fan base. We love our support system at AEG. It's probably one of the best in England altogether. So when we win, they win, and we love celebrating with them on and off the pitch. So it just makes it even more special because it just shows that we're connected, not just from a first team, but throughout our whole club.
Mentioning the club as a whole, what's the goal for this season? Looking towards finals weekend or maybe something a little bit further?
Yeah, so our first goal is obviously to get to finals weekend and earn a medal, get back into Europe next year for outdoor. Like we have a long history in our club of making that top four. We won it a couple of years ago. Our aim is to get that feeling back and get that medal around our necks and get to a Europeans next year. The ultimate goal would be to go to AHL and A Division indoors next year. So that would be my goal anyway. Might not always happen, but I think it's good to aim high and create step by step like how we're going to get there. And even if we don't get there, at least then we can start ticking boxes to be like, right, next year this is what we feel that this is how we need to do better to get here the following year. It's always a learning process. I think with every loss or every mistake there is a lesson to be learnt. And that's my big emphasis and my philosophy as a coach, and keep going forward as a player. So hopefully, you never know.
What's it like behind the scenes at East Grinstead?
That's a really, really good question. I think, we have so many people that support us behind the scenes, and that includes the faithful, that includes our fans, our friends, our family, parents who come and watch us, the players that we play around us, the people in the clubhouse. They're always big, massive supporters of us. But I think the biggest people, like that we should be thanking that do a lot of work behind the scenes is our coaching staff. So people like Barney Furlong, who's our manager, who Theo Dowse is our head coach. We've got Nick Banderak, who's come in this season. And then when it came to the indoor setup, we also then had Ross Stott, who came in, who's a very successful indoor career, played on the men's first for many years, played international for Scotland, to have all these people put a lot of time and effort, for someone who captained this team the last couple of years, I couldn't thank them enough. I think behind the scenes, I know myself and Theo, especially in the indoor season, constantly messaging each other, constantly messaging them, looking at videos, looking at formations, talking about tactics, you really appreciate the amount of work that they put in. And even with Theo and the outdoor setup, he's constantly being involved with the club. He's doing the TA. He gets to look at the youth in the club coming up through because there'll be a few of us that may not be around much longer when you were getting old. I think behind the scenes, it's phenomenal. I think we've got such a great support system at our club, and between the people who are run the club and the people who captain each teams, our social media fan base, I think it is phenomenal, and I think I couldn't have picked a better club than EG to be a part of. So it plays a massive part because I know that I've got people behind the scenes I can trust, especially when there's days There's some of us that have to work full time, and you just in it, it's such a great feeling that if you have an issue or you just need a little bit of help, you've got these people, that drop everything in a hat to come and help you. So I think behind the scenes we've got such holistic uh, a holistic approach to everything, so it's such a nice thing to have in the club.
Chloe Brown of East Grinstead, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Andy, for having me on today.
That's this weekend's fixtures all set up for you. Which one are you going to? Which one will you be watching on a live stream? I've been your host, Andy Day. Join me again next week for your essential quick guide to the upcoming fixtures.